Hello there students, welcome back to this video series. Again talking about types of communication. This is your instructor Ruby Bhatt. Until here we have studied that there are four bases on which types of communication is divided. Which are these four? Now I think you must be remembering it. The first basis on which types of communication is divided is levels of communication. Secondly, it is divided on basis of organizational relationship. Thirdly, it is divided on basis of flow of communication. Last but not the least, it is divided on basis of method of expression of communication. According to method of expression, communication is divided into two types, which is verbal communication and non-verbal communication. We already talked about verbal communication. We started talking about non-verbal communication in our previous lecture, where we got to know that non-verbal communication is ideally divided into 5 types: kinesics, proxemics, chronamics, haptics and paralinguistics. We studied in great detail about kinesics in the previous lecture, where we got to know that kinesics is divided into different elements like facial expressions, eye contact, postures, gestures, your body language, etc. So these were different elements which we already studied. Moving forward, today we will be studying about one more form of non-verbal communication, which is proxemics. What is meant by proxemics? Proxemics is the study of non-verbal communication using the physical distance or physical space between the two individuals, between the communicators. The space between the sender and the receiver speaks very much about their relationship and speaks very much about their communication. This is what study of proxemics is about, and this space can intricately represent the communication, the method of communication, the type of communication and the words of communication without using the words. According to Edward T. Hall, the study of proxemics divides the space into 4 different zones. These zones between the communicators represent the relationship and make sure about what type of communication they are indulging in. The first type of space is intimate space. Here the distance, which is the physical distance between the individuals, is ranging from no distance at all to about 18 inches, which is around 1.5 feet. This is intimate space of an individual, an intimate bubble in which only those individuals are allowed who are having intimate relation with the sender or the speaker. Different types of relations can be between a mother and a child, between spouses, lovers, etc. So, learn to respect this space and make sure that if you invade someone else's intimate space, you are in their intimate circle. The best example is of a mother and a child. They both are in the intimate space while communicating with each other. In this space, communication does not require much words. Many things are understood. For example, if you are sitting idly on the dining table, your mother will immediately understand that she is very hungry. That is why she is coming and that is why she is sitting there without doing any work. So, this is the relation which we are talking about here. Here, words are not much of importance and much of the communication takes place without using any words in intimate space. The second space which we would be talking about in proxemics is personal space. Here, the distance between the communicators range from 1.5 feet to 4 feet. This space is occupied by your friends, by your near relatives, by your elders, etc. Two friends having coffee together are in a personal space. Here too, communication is quite open and quite honest, just like intimate space. Our third type of space is social space. This space ranges from 4 feet to 12 feet. irrespective of what the name is, this social space is actually between professional people. This is the space which you share with your colleagues, with people with whom you are only professionally related and you do not have any informal or personal relation. You keep that amount of distance with that person by talking or communicating with them, and you do not want them to invade your privacy, neither do you invade into their privacy. This is strictly professional and official relationship where social space is maintained between the people. People sitting here for a meeting is an example of people in social space. Last but not the least, we have something known as public space. Public space is where there is a huge amount of distance between the speaker and the listener, like a classroom, like in an auditorium where a celebrity is performing, like in public speeches. Here the distance ranges from 12 feet and above. This distance is to make sure that the safety and security of the person who is speaking is maintained. Okay, so here there is hardly any relationship between the speaker and the receiver, and that is why you cannot understand any untold words in public space, because here there is a public figure who is speaking and you have hardly any contact with that public figure. Usually the 4 zones, remember them according to Edward T. Hall. In proxemics we studied 4 zones, which were intimate zone, personal zone, social zone, and last but not the least, public zone. Moving forward to next type of non-verbal communication, which is chronamics. What is meant by chronamics? Chronamics is communication using the language of time. Sadly, time language is different for everyone else. For example, for a person who wakes up every day at 8:30 in the morning, for him 7 o'clock is too early. But for a person who wakes up at 5:30 each morning, 7 o'clock is too late. So each person has different ways of communicating using time language. You must use this time language very aptly when you are communicating during your interviews. Firstly, you must be very punctual. Also, you must make sure that you do not make other people wait for different selection interviews or group discussions or any other procedures. Okay. You must make sure that you are not too early, because it would seem that you are overexcited, neither too late, because it is rude. Time language is different also in different countries. In Latin countries, it is okay that the meetings start way later than the scheduled time for the meeting. But in Germany, if a meeting is late even by 1 minute, then it is frowned upon, and everyone would get too over frustrated. In India here, our time language depends quite upon the occasion. You cannot be late for an interview or a business meeting, but in parties, it is cool to be late. So, time language is defined differently by different people, but make sure that your time language is very punctual. Moving forwards to the next type of non-verbal communication, which is haptics. Haptics is study of non-verbal communication using sense of touch. How you communicate using your touch, by shaking hands, by patting someone on their back, by hugging someone, or etc. These things will show what you want to communicate to the receiver, but make sure that you keep in mind proxemics or the space which we have already discussed while indulging in haptics. According to haptics, there are different types in which this touch is divided. Lastly, our last form of non-verbal communication is paralinguistics. We got to know here that 38% comprises of how we say something, how we differentiate our pitch while speaking, how we stress upon some words while talking, and that actually accounts for good communication. If I speak everything monotonously, it will create boredom. I'll give you an example. If I'm telling you there is a dog roaming around here, that is quite a statement, and you'll be thinking, okay, that man was just mentioning some dog. But if I tell, oh, there is a dog, then you will get to know that I am frightened of this dog and you need to save me from that particular dog. This is how communication works, and this is how paralinguistics work. Not only what you say, but how you say it matters. Let us see that what role paralinguistics play in our life. Paralinguistics is the study of vocal and sometimes non-vocal signals which we use along with verbal messages to make sure that whatever we are trying to convey to the receiver is conveyed correctly. Paralinguistics has different elements which would be explained by me here. First is pronunciation. How you pronounce something speaks a lot about what you are trying to communicate. Many a times wrong pronunciations lead to miscommunication. That is why pronouncing something correctly is very much required. I have seen people ordering for espresso while the coffee is known as espresso. So students, make sure that you know the correct pronunciations. This is just one example. Different countries pronounce different things differently, and different people have different linguistic ideas about different words. So make sure that you know the correct pronunciations. Google is a huge help nowadays. Make sure that you get to know the correct pronunciation before speaking those words. Second is speed of your voice. How fast or how slow you speak is also very important. Do not speak very fast, otherwise you will garble some of your words. Do not speak too slowly, otherwise obviously you will create boredom and the entire audience would be asleep. So maintain proper pace. Third is articulation. Articulation is how clearly you speak your words. Many people have this habit of garbling the last part of their words or first part of their words or something in between. This will lead to miscommunication. Make sure that you clearly articulate each and every word while speaking so that the receiver gets to know what your point is. The next element of paralinguistic is tone of your voice. Tone of your voice would actually showcase the hidden feelings inside you. The tone is very much important because it will showcase your feelings, it will mirror your feelings. If you are speaking something in a frightened tone, the receiver will get to know. If you are angry, the receiver will get to know by your tone. So maintain your tone properly if you want to communicate correctly. Next important element is pause. Take pauses while speaking. This will ensure that receiver grasps whatever you are trying to speak, and as a speaker, you will get some time to prepare for your next sentence. But too long pauses would again lead to boredom. So make sure that you take correct amount of pause and take pauses at correct locations, not at incorrect ones. Moving forward, our next element of paralinguistic is punctuation marks. Punctuation marks can only be used in written communication. How are you dealing with punctuation marks in oral communication? Actually, in oral communication too, you can very effectively use punctuation marks. For example, if I speak, he was here, you would be thinking that I am mentioning about some person who was here some time back. Okay. But if I speak, he was here, this means that I am exclaiming on that point that was he here and I didn't like that he was here. Right? So the same sentence, the same words, just by using the correct punctuation mark, change the meaning. This is how you can effectively use punctuation marks even in oral communication. Next is intonation. Intonation is how loudly or slowly you speak. If you speak very loudly and at a very high pitch, then everyone would become deaf of your voice, because too high voice is not good for human ears. Don't do that. But too low or too timid voice will showcase that you are not confident enough to speak in front of audience. So that is back to same thing is showcased by volume of your voice. You can change the volume of your voice according to the requirement. Some things which are very important can be imparted in a very high voice, and the things which are not important can be spoken quite slowly, so that audiences can understand that which are the major points, those which were spoken with a high volume. Okay students, that was all about types of communication, and we have completed here all the types of communication. Do not worry. This is Dhruvi signing off. Until next time, thank you so much for such patiently listening to me. It was glad. Bye bye.